Nothing in there. There's nothing in there. What are you doing? I love you too, but you can't do this right now. Hey, what exactly are you doing? Oh, I love you too, but I gotta do this. I don't know what to do. I'm going to look at the eye. How did you get there? Did you find your job? I don't want to spot you in your eye. Bobby. You want to cuddle with me, big boy? Let's cuddle with Bobby's eye. Bobby, right? So much. All right.
MRG_limit. Set. Test. MRG_limit. Set. G.
Mr.G, he's your average teacher on IRL streamer. Mr.G, he's your average teacher on IRL streamer. Unworn white Levi's were covering his femur until he covered them with coffee and creamer. Mr.G, he's your average teacher on IRL streamer. Mr. G, he's your average teacher on IRL streamer. Mr. G, he's your average teacher on IRL streamer. Mr. G, he's your average teacher on IRL streamer. Mr. G, 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 Mr. G. He's your average teacher on IRL streamer. Mr. G, he's your average teacher on IRL streamer. Americana writer got no education. I met him while streaming on a Hawaiian vacation. Unworn white Levi's were covering his femur until he covered them with coffee and creamer. Mr. G, he's your average teacher on IRL streamer. Mr. G, he's your average teacher on IRL streamer. Mr. G. He's your average teacher on IRL streamer. Mr. G, he's your average teacher on IRL streamer. I sped him while streaming on a Hawaiian vacation. Unworn in white Levi's were covering his femur until he covered them with coffee and creamer. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher on Iowa streamer. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher on Iowa streamer. Mr. G, 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 Mr. G, 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 he's your average teacher on IRL streamer. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher on IRL streamer. Mr. G, 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 Mr. G. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher on IRL streamer. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher on IRL streamer. Americana writer got no education. I spent him while streaming on a Hawaiian vacation. Unworn in white Levi's were covering his femur until he covered them with coffee and creamer. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher on Iowa streamer. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher on Iowa streamer. Mr. G, G. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher on Iowa Street. Mr. G, Mr. G,
Now, why would you run to it? It's not live.
on Iowa Street. Mr. G, 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 Mr. G.
Hi, I'm Mr. G. Welcome to my class. Happy fucking Monday. Bear with me 1 second. It's just been one of those fucking freaking days. Why you fucking turn this on? Oops. I really hate my fucking earring. You know what you gotta watch out for in life, guys? You gotta watch out for other people's incompetence. Because the people that are incompetent and that are stupid, they try to rub their stupid off on smart people. Like if they see somebody smart or creative or intelligent, they'll try to like get in their way, Or just like, oh, I'm stupid. And like try to throw their stupid on you. It's just so fucked up. It's just like people are ugly that are ugly on the inside. They try to make everybody else just as ugly as they are. God damn it, I forgot the light. Excuse me, Peach. Peach, I know you're not in deep sleep. You were just awake, so don't play that.
I'm not sleeping.
Alright, you're sleeping. So, I've been really busy today. Somewhat. Busy dealing with other people's incompetence. Yes, that's a thing. If you didn't notice, maybe you're the incompetent one. Morons.
Uncle Meat. Zip. What's up, G?
Hey, Uncle Mead. I'm a little flustered today. Here, I'm gonna see if I have a Pepsi stashed away. Hey Google, play Beethoven.
Sure. Here's Ludwig van Beethoven on Pandora.
Okay, today we're going to be learning about New Mexico. Is that okay with everybody? Maybe I should, never mind. Okay, so New Mexico, it wasn't a state until 1912. It's barely 100 years old. I think it was something like the 47th, 48th state. Well, it was ahead of Arizona, Alaska, and Hawaii, so it was the 47th state. Arizona was the 48th state, Alaska was the 49th state, and Hawaii was the 50th state. Hey Google, tell us about the state of Arizona. I mean, fuck that.
Here's some
Sorry. Hey
information
Google.
about Arizona.
Hey Google.
Arizona.
Hey, shut up. Hey Google, tell me about the state of New Mexico.
My apologies. I don't understand.
Hey Google, tell me about New Mexico.
Here's a summary from Wikipedia. New Mexico is a state in the southwestern region of the United States of America. Its capital is Santa Fe, which was founded in 1610 as capital of Nuevo Mexico, while its largest city is Albuquerque with its accompanying metropolitan area.
Hey Google, tell me about Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Here is some information about Santa Fe. Santa Fe, New Mexico's capital, sits in the Sangre de Cristo foothills. It's renowned for its Pueblo-style architecture and as a creative arts hotbed. Founded as a Spanish colony in 1610, it has at its heart the traditional plaza. The surrounding historic district's crooked streets wind past adobe landmarks including the Palace of the Governors, now home to the New Mexico History Museum.
Alright, so this is the New Mexico state flag right here. As you can see, there are 4 groups of rays with 4 rays in each group. Can everybody see that? This is an ancient sun symbol of the Native American people called the Zia. The Zia believed that the giver of all good gave them gifts in groups of 4. The gifts are the 4 directions: north, east, south, and west. The 4 phases of life: childhood, youth, middle years, and old age. The 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And also the 4 parts of the day: sunrise, noon, evening, and night. Any questions? Alright, New Mexico is also known for Billy the Kid. Now you must be asking, who is Billy the Kid? Well, Billy the Kid was the most famous gunslinger in the West. You guys just chime in. Anybody have anything to say about New Mexico? Here's some more interesting facts about New Mexico. New Mexico has more cows than people. Why is it so hot today? It's extra hot in this classroom for some freaking reason. So Santa Fe is the oldest city in the United States, other than some small town in Florida. Santa Fe is somewhere where I've lived before. New Mexico borders 5 different states and another country, Mexico. It used to be part of Mexico. It also used to be part of Spain. Santa Fe used to be the capital of New Spain. There's some more interesting facts. Okay, I'll be with you in just 1 second, guys.
Okay. All right. So, today is December 7th. It's the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. They haven't closed down. They had a virtual Pearl Harbor today.
anybody's wondering. But today we're going to learn about New Mexico. The state bird of New Mexico is the roadrunner. That's the roadrunner. I don't know where the coyote's at. He must be in the bushes somewhere. Hey Google, Volume 2. Hey Google, turn it down. Okay, the state flower of New Mexico is the yucca flower. That's the yucca flower. It's pretty. Not really, but you know. So, New Mexico, it's a desert, but they also have alpine. The local cuisine in New Mexico is they incorporate green chilies a lot into their thing, which are very spicy. The Mexican New Mexico cuisine is very spicy. It's very spicy cuisine. Don't ever touch your hands when eating green chilies. So one of my favorite towns in New Mexico is Las Vegas, New Mexico. It's the original Las Vegas. As you can, I can put up a poster up there. And on this map, this is northern New Mexico. Northern New Mexico is the one of the oldest areas ever.
PogChamp.
The Pueblo Indians are in northern New Mexico. And some people say the area of Taos, New Mexico has been settled consistently for thousands of years. Hey, Uncle Meats. I don't know what's going on today, but maybe I'm out of it. I don't know. It's extra hot in here today in this room. I've been getting upset about my neighbors. Like, there's a group of people that live downstairs and they don't work or go to school, and they're always bothering me. But anyways, I guess I shouldn't really even mention them. So, the largest city in New Mexico is Albuquerque, New Mexico. It doesn't even have, it has barely 500,000 people. And that's where Breaking Bad was filmed, if I'm not mistaken.
All is good now.
All is good now? Hey Google, turn down the music.
Uncle Meat said, no troubles, right?
Yeah, no troubles. I got Peachy in a basket.
It's okay, Peachy. I protect you in the basket. Peachy in the basket, the Peachy, she's so cute in your boots.
I gotta pick your nose. You got those boogers. Sorry.
Ivan said,
Oh, I'm sorry.
help Mr.G with a donation through
They're all hard
Streamelements.
and
https://streamelements.com/mrg_live/10.
you're so sweet, kid, Peaches. You're the sweetest. Here, I think I got most of it. Yeah, there it is. Oh, the booger, huh? Those boogers. You got eye burgers too. Bad eye burgers. Those eye burgers. So once again, Albuquerque, the largest city in New Mexico. Sometimes these things go good. I guess just today, they're just like going slow or something. I don't know. Maybe I haven't eaten much today. That's not an excuse. I don't know. Sometimes I get lost in the garden. I lose a lot of time in the garden just because I guess time flies when you're enjoying something. It is a hassle dealing with the external issues that are like so unnecessary and that I shouldn't have to deal with. So I know a lot about New Mexico. I lived there in 2011. I worked at a farm in New Mexico. I was a manager of a farm in New Mexico. And it's known as the Land of Enchantment. It's the start of the Rocky Mountains, which is the Santa de Cristo mountain range. The Pueblo people and the Clovis people have lived there. Recent archaeologists have discovered remains that lead scientists to believe that they've actually occupied that area even longer than they originally thought. That said, those archaeologists were interviewed on Joe Rogan as well. And so, people have always lived there. It has one of the highest prices of living in the United States, but it's also one of the most impoverished places in the United States, believe it or not. It's one of the least educated places in the United States, but it also has more PhDs per capita than anywhere else in the United States. It's a very, very hodgepodge, interesting place. Santa Fe is something like 8,000, 9,000 feet above sea level. Like I said before, it's the highest state capital. What else? I already told you the bird and the flower. There's lots of crime in Santa Fe and Albuquerque in particular. Santa Fe is only about an hour away from Albuquerque, and all the buildings there are adobe. Not all of them, just about all of them, are these beautiful adobe buildings. And I put one on the screen here. And an adobe building, you don't need air conditioning and you don't need that much heat, because they during the winter they retain heat very well. These buildings I have on the screen here. And during the summer months, it doesn't get that hot in New Mexico, in particular northern New Mexico, but it does get hot. During the summer months, the wind blows through and the adobe stays cool. It actually breathes. The material is a mud mix. And after living in these adobe houses, I've came to the conclusion that I would really only want, if I'm building a place of my own, I would want to build it like that, because it's the most practical. Not even just the residences are made of adobe, but even some of the office buildings as well. And this is the state capital in New Mexico. This is in Santa Fe. When I saw this, it was covered in snow.
Where's J. Mermaid? Said, aloha, Mr. G.
Aloha, Mrs.
Sorry
J.
I'm late. Was doing bike maintenance.
Oh, okay. Aloha, Mrs. J.
Go meet.
Yeah, I did a 4-hour bike ride
Excuse
yesterday.
me, MRG. The thing that I don't get is that these neighbors are trashy people and basically mean nothing to you. They are what I call useless and irrelevant. So, who cares what irrelevant and useless people say and do?
I guess that's 100% true, Uncle Mead. You're right. They've just been a distraction with their yelling at my apartment, and I worry about my my safety here because they don't seem to even work, or and everything I do, every time I go outside, they run out there sometimes. But But anyways, it's okay. You're right though. I should just keep on moving on and not even bring them up. So here I have a typical downtown street in Santa Fe. They have many, you know, so many of the buildings are exactly like this, and you know, it's like I said, it's really a great way of harnessing the heat and also keeping in the cold. The coldest area I've ever been in was in Santa Fe, New Mexico, no doubt about it. The coldest temperatures I've ever experienced were in Santa Fe, and it was in the teens, basically. I think 18 or 19 degrees, 20 degrees maybe, in November of 2011 was the hottest I've ever experienced. So here on the screen I have a little map of New Mexico, and one thing that they're known for is the Albuquerque International Balloon Festival. It's the largest hot air balloon festival in the world, and it is a sight to see. I have driven by during that time when they were setting everything up. You have a lot of open spaces in New Mexico because New Mexico, surprisingly, is the 5th largest state. The only states that are bigger than New Mexico are Montana, Texas, Alaska, and some other one, I forget. But either way, you know, it's a big state and there's a lot of open area as well. Like I said, the largest city is Albuquerque, and it doesn't even have 1 million people. So, you know, it's spread out. Unlike other cities, you know, it has a lot more things going on in each of the cities. All right, so New Mexico has more cows than people. 75% of New Mexico roads are unpaved. That's a fact. You know, that's one thing that I felt really surprising. I had a small city car, and that's not something you can do in the unless you're in the main areas. It's one of the youngest states.
More cows, LOL.
So yeah, more cows than people, as Mrs. J pointed out. Also, New Mexico, it's full of irony, I guess. You know, it's full of extremes. Like I said, it's one of the lowest educated. I think it is the least educated state in the United States, but it has the most PhDs per capita. And also, it's one of the youngest states in the United States, only older than Arizona, Hawaii, and Alaska. But Santa Fe is one of the second oldest city in the United States, and the Taos Pueblo is the oldest continuous living town area in the United States. Repeatedly, there's been people living in Taos, New Mexico, for up to 6,000 years. And Taos, New Mexico is a really interesting place. Let me go. Taos, New Mexico, it's a place for artists, visual artists. I've known to always frequent Taos, New Mexico, and also, you know, the Apache tribe, the Pueblo Indians, and also it's a ski resort. There's a ski resort in Taos, New Mexico. Here, I'll put a little bit of northern New Mexico in the corner. I spent some time in Taos, New Mexico. It's popular among writers. You know, we were researching that treasure hunt a while back, and the Forrest Fenn. And Forrest Fenn, he was in Santa Fe, New Mexico, northern New Mexico. Northern New Mexico is one of my personal most favorite parts of the United States. If I didn't live in Hawaii, I would live there in northern New Mexico, probably. But there's no reason I wouldn't ever live in Hawaii. So. But if I was going to take a short vacation or something like that, northern New Mexico's Santa Fe in particular is a really great place. Also, I was there for Christmas in 2011, and they go really Christmas crazy there. And they generally get a decent amount of snow too. So it fits right in. Santa Fe is a really small town. You can walk from one side or the other in the city central area. There's lots of trains, railroads
Chris J. Themer made.
That pass through.
Christmas crazy. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, so you see a lot of Christmas lights, a lot of carolers, you know, it's got a real old time feeling. The whole state is very old fashioned. And I guess that's one of its charms. That's one of its charms for me. Like I said, the city of Las Vegas, New Mexico is the original Las Vegas. And it's a small town, but it's like an old west town. And it's really, you know, some people would think it's cutesy, that, you know, the way they have the town set up. I'll put up a few images. But, you know, like I said, all the buildings are adobe, so they're really practical. Some of the neighborhoods, you know, you'll see houses just like that. And out of all the places that I've been, I haven't been everywhere, but out of all the places that I've personally been, Santa Fe, or northern New Mexico in particular. Like I said, there's a lot of crime and, excuse me, and a lot of drugs in the state's only major city, which is Albuquerque. I sold the Albuquerque Journal, and it's so surprising that Albuquerque only has 560,000 people. Because there's like about 1 million people on this island, and it seems like there's like hardly anybody. But yeah, so there's so much crime and drugs, and there's some horrendous, horrible crimes going on in Albuquerque, and you have to assume that the two are connected. Crime and drugs. And that's what they say is usually the case. But northern New Mexico, it's a different story. But they say, like, anywhere you go, you can't, you know, get away from crime, I guess. Where I stayed at in northern New Mexico a few different times is the Abominable Snow Mansion. And it's a really fun place to stay. I had a lot of videos about that on my original YouTube channel. Hopefully we'll get that back eventually. But yeah, New Mexico, it's one of the poorest states. It has a huge, a large crime rate. And I personally, you know, northern New Mexico, I spent a lot of time in Santa Fe. You see a lot of those little bottles of liquor laying around everywhere. I think I told a story about how I almost got stabbed in Santa Fe. But it's also a really good community. The smaller towns in New Mexico, I really like that. I was going to touch on a point here. I forgot what it was though. But yeah, I worked on a farm in Rivera, New Mexico, and we would go to the farmers markets and work at the farmers markets in Las Vegas, New Mexico, on I think Saturdays, and then Santa Fe, New Mexico, on Fridays. Went to that farmers market, and then the small town of Rivera, which is known to have the best pie west of the Mississippi. They had a farmers market on Sunday, and you can't grow nearly as many things as you can grow in Hawaii and in New Mexico as you can in Hawaii. In New Mexico, you're limited because it gets really cold and they have short seasons. What we mainly sold in northern New Mexico was tomatoes and lettuce and stuff like that. When it got cold, I helped write a grant for them to build the farm, for them to build a greenhouse. Because, like I said, the weather there. Also, there's lots of wildlife. There's I personally, just in Rivera, New Mexico, I personally saw a bobcat. I saw a bear. I saw a mountain lion. Or I saw the remnants of a mountain lion. A mountain lion got into the geese hen and destroyed, like, these geese that I was taking care of. There's some pictures on the internet if you guys are interested. I'm not going to show them in the class here until. So New Mexico, like I said, Albuquerque, for a town that small to have such a bad crime rate, it has one of the worst crime rates in the United States, Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's where the University of New Mexico is. They're known as the Lobos. Hey Google, what does the word Lobo mean?
Lobo is used as a noun in North America to mean, in the southwestern U.S. and Mexico, a timber wolf. Do you want to hear how Lobo is spelled?
No, that's not necessary. So Lobo.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Continue music, please. So Lobo is a wolf in the Southwest, and they must be rare. But there are many different wildlife in the Southwest. As far as academics go, they're right along with the crime rate of Albuquerque. So Albuquerque is a really small city of about 500,000 people. The major university, most states, they put their state universities not in the major city. But New Mexico, it's a very poor, impoverished state, totally unlike its neighbors, Arizona. It's a liberal state. It's a democratic state. Like I said, it's got a lot of crime and a lot of poverty, and it has one of the worst educational systems in the United States as well. So it's a land of enchantment, but it's also the land of irony and the land of different extremes. And you can say the same thing about the weather. There's different extremes. It's good to wear layers in New Mexico because the days can get really hot and the nights can get really cold. Some of the coldest nights I ever experienced were in northern New Mexico, in Santa Fe, and the Taos areas. Hold on, something's going on with the kitties. What's going on? I'm trying to have class.
Hey, pizzas. I gotta basically pinches. That's what I like. You smell good. Like pinches. They're soft too.
So, more about New Mexico. The biggest city, like I said, is
so cute.
Is Albuquerque. The second biggest city and the capital is Santa Fe. Santa Fe is the highest state capital. I lived in Santa Fe for a little while, a few months. I had a bus pass when I was there, and the bus went all around the small town of Santa Fe. They have these really old school rickety-deckety buses from the 1950s. And the weirdest thing about the Santa Fe bus system, and I've ridden many bus systems across the United States, but in the Santa Fe bus system, they actually have a radio where the driver controls the radio station. So if he wants to put it on the classic rock station, he can do that. If he wants to put it on the top 40 station, he can do that. And so everybody cruising through this beautiful mountainous area where you can see the beautiful rocks and the Santa de Cristo Mountains in the distance. He's jamming out to Pink Floyd or Led Zeppelin. I usually was on the bus where the driver chose classic rock station. So that was cool and something really interesting, especially since it's the old style buses. They also have a railway. There's trains that seem to go through there all the time. The very first European or American settlers in the area, when it was New Spain, came there on the Santa Fe Trail. So you hear that in New Mexico a lot, the Santa Fe Trail. And like I said, their cuisine, green chilies, very, very spicy, very common in every dish. Basically, they seem to have these green patch chilies. And they're the spiciest things. They burn my lips, my little lips, they burn them. They burn my fingertips. And I'm not a fan, really. Well, talking about it, I'm like, I mean, I'm actually going to grow some patch chilies. But I'm not a really big fan. Apparently they grow really well there. You know what I did grow personally? I grew on the farm is tomatillos, tomatillo peppers.
A lot of stuff is made with hatch chills out here.
Yeah. So that area, Southwest United States, it has its own culture. It has its own cuisine. It has its own art. It has its own style. And I have been to the Four Corners area of the United States. And that's a really interesting area. I really enjoy the Four Corners. Show you here. So as you can see on the map there, shine a laser here. So the Four Corners would be the Four Corners is right where Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico meet, right where I'm shining this laser at, right there in that corner. And in that corner, you can touch all 4 states at once. You can be in all 4 states at once in that corner. It's the only part of the United States that has 4 corners. Oh wait, let me get rid of this. So as you can see on the map there, New Mexico is right here. We've already done Colorado. I need to color that in. But New Mexico borders many states that you would think, that you not would think. So New Mexico borders Arizona to the west, Texas to the east, and also Oklahoma, a little bit of Oklahoma right there to the east. Also, New Mexico borders Colorado in the north. And over here, we're in the Four Corners area. New Mexico actually borders Utah too. And New Mexico shares a small border with Mexico as well. So New Mexico doesn't only border 5 states and Mexico. It's also not far from Kansas, if you see right here, the corner of northwest New Mexico. It's only a few miles from the corner of southwest Kansas right there. So New Mexico, it's the 5th largest state and also touches 5 different states, and it shares a border with Mexico. So I mean, that's pretty interesting. So like I said, there's a lot of violence in New Mexico. And actually, it's so violent that it's one of the least populous states, but it actually ranks in the top 10 in violence, in gun violence. And and that's very, and I think we have all that to attribute to this man right here. He seemed to have made gun violence apparently acceptable in this New Mexico area. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't have anything to do with him. But, for whatever reason, there's a lot of gun violence in New Mexico. It's a little cartoon of Billy the Kid I thought was amusing. You get it? Sorry, Billy, you can't read the sign?
Mr.G mermaid. Said. Looks like Britain.
I know, right? It does, right? I was actually thinking that, Mrs. J, when I was looking at that picture. So, and I saw this cartoon I thought was pretty funny. New Mexico territory. So once again, just like the other states we covered, Idaho, Montana, Arizona, they were all territories before they became states. It's like they had to move up to become a state. So yeah, it's extra hot today, man. I don't know. It's just extra hot. I guess I have to deal with a lot because of just fucking bullshit. But it's okay. But I can deal with it, you know. And the kitties are okay and everything like that. I do have a lot to do here. I have been really busy. And yeah, we're gonna play the New Mexico State song. Hey Google, pause music. Alright, so that was a New Mexico song. Hope you guys, part of the New Mexico State song. Hope you guys enjoyed that. It's so hot in here today, and I guess I'm just not feeling it. I need to get something to eat or get some more rest here.
Mr.G mermaid said, "Thank you, Mr. G, for a great class on New Mexico. I always enjoy and appreciate the info and the cool slides you share."
Thanks, Mrs. J. It wasn't my best performance, but I did show up, and I did, bring you guys this information. Tomorrow we're going to move on with the state
Mr.G
Kansas.
said, "Production value is a plus."
Thank you, Mrs. J. So I think maybe everybody's got a case of the Mondays, or maybe I do. I don't know. 3 o'clock just jumped up here, and I had to rush to try to get everything taken care of. Maybe I've got too much on my plate, and I don't have any time to watch YouTube videos for sure, or to waste time, just like everybody, right? But yeah, so I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do for the rest of the evening here, and thank you for coming to class today. We'll have class the same time tomorrow, a little bit earlier actually. And like I said, Kansas is tomorrow's
Mr.G with the donation through Stream Elements. https://streamelements.com/mrg_live/tip.
So, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for joining the stream. Follow Mr. G live stream on Instagram on the screen. Also, I put up a gardening video on my second YouTube channel, so check that out. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube. I know this is kind of a crammed in presentation. It makes me kind of want to do New Mexico another day, but we're rolling through these states. And we did learn a little bit about the state of enchantment, New Mexico. You know, I told you some personal experiences about living in New Mexico and how it's one of my favorite areas to live in. So I'll probably mention it again, you know. I definitely will. Yeah, everybody take care of yourselves. Be safe, watch out, and be good, because there's a battle between good and evil.
Night, Mr. G. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Mrs. J.
Grinning cat face with smiling eyes.
Let's say a quick prayer for everybody that really needs one. Jimmy has come down with COVID, along with his dad as well, and millions of people around the world have come down with COVID, and a lot of people are struggling. And overall, like I said, there's a battle between good and evil, and so I'm on the side of good, believe it or not. That's not hard to believe. But when you're out there, I want you to be vigilant and be aware that evil does exist, and you need to. And the devil seems to get in the side of people, and they get in the side of people now, and they seems to get in the side of everybody. So we need to be to love our neighbors and not hurt our neighbors, whether that's with words or violence or anything, and realize that we're all on the speck of dust out in the corner of the Milky Way galaxy together. You know, and it's a miracle that we even exist. So we need to be kind to each other, but we also need to protect each other and not let anybody hurt us or our loved ones, including our little furry ones. So we'll just say a quick Detroit, Michigan, Mays, Jordan, and Big Block. I can't shout out everybody, so we'll just say in a quick prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. My God, I'm sorry for my sins with all my heart, and choosing to do wrong and failing to do good. I have sinned against you, whom I should love above all things. I firmly intend with your help to do penance, to sin no more, and to avoid whatever leads me to sin. Our Savior, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Dear Lord, please bless everybody that I love and care about. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to teach this class. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to protect those cats. Please protect me so I can continue to protect them. Please take care of me and all the real ones, and please protect us while we go through this hard, troublesome world. Thank you for everything you've given us. Thank you for this opportunity to breathe this air, to live this life, and to do good in this world while we're here. Thank you for everything you've given us. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. All right, talk to you guys later. Everybody have a good night.